Hello, and welcome back to Goblin Literature, where we discuss long fantasy series that your friends are probably not reading at the same pace as you, even if they agree to read the book. Books. So many books. In the Zodiac Academy series, which is what we are discussing today. We will be going through Book 2, The Ruthless Fae. I think it's Ruthless Fae. Chapters 1 through 4. I have pumpkin spice protein iced coffee. So I'm ready to go. I don't know why pumpkin spice is already out. It's July. I'm just living my life. So, we kick this book off. We're only doing chapters 1 through 4. This is like the least amount of chapters I've done so far in a like reading wrap up adventure that we're on. I feel like we came in hot in book 2 with a lot of stuff going on. I don't have any like a ton of new hot takes, cold takes, theories, because I feel like the stuff we found out isn't like changing how I was thinking things were going anyway. So I don't have any like new hot takes. So I was kind of like, do I make this video? But like a lot has gone on and like I want to talk about it. So we're talking about it. So the top plot points for chapters 1 through 4 is number 1, we kick right off with a Caleb point of view chapter. Love that. Very exciting. I was really hoping we get more points of view from other people. I mentioned that maybe 2 or 3 videos ago that we did get Tory and Darcy and like great. And I think that we're doing that mostly because Tory and Darcy don't know a lot, and if we get more points of view, we'll find out stuff we're not supposed to find out till later, which is fine. We love a secret, exciting plot twist. But it is exciting information to get a little bit more info on the heirs, because I think there's a lot we don't know about them, and that's kind of the whole point of this series. Also, now that we're not on book 1 anymore, I wanted to mention that I am following a specific reading order that I got from a girl on Instagram called That Girl Reads. I will tag her Instagram in the comments. There are a bunch of ways. She's one of the reasons I'm reading this book, because she's like obsessed with Zodiac Academy. She seems cool. I'm easily influenced. So here we are. She has a very specific reading order. She gives a few different options, but this one is like the optimal reading order. So I like to be optimal. I'm an optimal person. So that's the reading order that I am following. So I will tag her in the comments, but right now you start off with Zodiac Academy 1, 2, 3, and then you do, after book 3, the prequel, which I think is like 5 books, like the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac or something along those lines. So after the 3rd book, we'll do those if you're reading in the same order as me. So, back to the top plot points. Caleb, we get his point of view. He feels bad for the twins. You kind of got that impression from him a little bit. He obviously seems to at least like Tory. It's possible that he's just kind of using her for blood and sexual activities. However, I don't get that vibe from him. He seems cool. Obviously, we're getting it from Tory's point of view, and she like wants to bang him, so like of course he seems cool, but he still seems cool to me too, so whatever, through her point of view. He also blatantly admits in his chapter that the girls are more powerful than the heirs, which also I think we kind of knew, but it's interesting to get it directly from him, because obviously he's not gonna like want to be like admitting that. Seems like Max and Seth are assholes. Back to like the point I made in the last video, it seems like some of the heirs are better than the others, like as far as being douchebags. So Max and Seth seem the scummiest, and Darius, and Caleb seem a little like they feel guilty. And there's some comments about Darius's father and how he like doesn't want to be just like his father. So seems like his father's a dick. I assume we'll find out more about that in the prequel books. That's my theory. Then we've got like 3 chapters of Darcy and Tory where they're kind of planning to leave, which is well outside of what I thought would happen. I never thought these idiots would leave. They don't seem like the quitting type, so I thought that was really weird. They pack their shit up. Well, they don't pack, but they like come up with a plan. They're like, yo, let's leave. And they're like, yeah, let's leave. And I'm like, okay. First of all, there's 400 books in this series. Obviously, you're not leaving. Like, let's be real. So they come up with a little plan. The plan actually is not a bad plan. Darcy tries to get Stardust from Orion's office. He catches her, of course. They blow up the whole office. They like are sexually wrestling on top of the frickin' air tower because she doesn't know how to use the damn Stardust, of course. You're just like stealing shit you don't know how to use, but whatever. And then meanwhile, Tory is like gallivanting around in Darius's room, setting the whole goddamn thing on fire, which was hilarious. And then she finds a dagger. That part is interesting. I was like, interesting. So that has me intrigued, the dagger. Something like it was like kind of pulling at her a little bit, like wouldn't melt. She's melting all this. She's just like having like a psychotic episode, which like valid. They just like try to cut all your hair off and kill you. So like, yeah, fair enough. You're just like burning his whole room down. That's cool. And then Orion is like basically baiting Darcy, like, I thought you were tougher than this. You're like a weak ass bitch. And she's like, no, I'm not. That's like how I imagine it happening in my head. And then he's like, you're not even real Fae. And she's like, oh my god, we are real Fae. And then they stay, of course. Obviously, we kind of saw that coming. Not shocking to anyone. So, Darcy and they meet up back at the room. And Darcy's like, I think we should stay. And Tori's like, cool. After, like, they just went through all this trouble and set the whole goddamn building on fire, they're staying. So now that's a problem. And they missed this whole secret assembly where they were supposed to attend or they would lose a shitload of house points. Although, like, they were, like, almost killed. So I feel like that's, like, they shouldn't have had to go to this assembly anyway. They should, again, be getting counseling. There should be trauma counselors on premises, but there's not, because apparently they don't have funding for that. So that's a little bit suspicious, but they stay, and they're gonna get revenge, which is gonna be fun. I think that's because these are like scrappy bitches. Like, these are bitches that, like, I mean bitches like a compliment, obviously, just to clarify. They are great. They have some street smarts. People with street smarts are great at revenge because they're crafty and resourceful. So I'm interested to see what that will look like, because I feel like the people in this academy rely too heavily on their magical powers. That's why it's so easy for everyone to like pick a lock, because they're just like lockics who would be out here like learning how to pick a lock. Not people with magical powers, but people with street smarts would. Yep, that'll get you. So cold takes. I will reiterate. Orion is in love with Darcy. Oh, he also sent her like a DM, like, hey, this is Lance. This is Lance. Here's how to find this book. Awkward wink. I assume the book will help her maybe regrow her hair. Even though Seth said if anyone tries to help her regrow her hair, he will kill them. He's kind of dramatic. Another cold take that I already had last time. Like I said, nothing new here. Only some of the heirs suck. I assume only some of them suck. Under hot takes, I have nothing. No new hot takes. There's nothing that I am foreseeing that's a shock. I don't think anything shocking is about to happen. I think some interesting stuff's about to go down. Maybe that's a hot take. Nothing super interesting is going to happen. I don't foresee any imminent plot twists. But maybe I'm dumb. That's possible. I could just be vibing out here. Up next, what do we have coming down the pipeline, as they say in corporate America? How do the nice heirs redeem themselves? Seems like Caleb and Darius feel bad. How do you redeem yourself after you try to drown someone? Someone whose greatest fear is drowning. How do you redeem yourself after cutting off someone's hair? Granted, neither of them cut off her hair, but like they're all like besties, so. Do Tory and Caleb keep hooking up? Because he literally tried to drown her. Whether he actively participated or not, he's an accessory. That's how the law works. Also, in all caps, I noted, what is the order? What's the girl's order? Where are we? Why can't we find out? This is, again, we've no clues. It's obviously important, but we have no clues. And the fact that it feels like so long, which I mentioned in the last video, like such a long book, but not a lot of time has passed. I feel like that's drawing this specifically out. So like we've read a bazillion pages, like these are thick boy books, and we don't know. It feels like they've been there for 10 years and they don't know their order, but really they've been there for like a few weeks. So I think that's what's kind of throwing me with the time dilation. Also, I feel like to continue on with one of my cool takes of Orion and Darcy, they're probably, I feel like they're going to hook up, obviously, at some point. How do they get away with that? It seems like, based on some things that he said, that like you're really not supposed to hook up with students, which like is a standard for all teachers. It's inappropriate, obviously, even if the children are of age and they're not children, they're adults, and it's an inappropriate dynamic, which, you know, in real life is inappropriate. In books, we're here for it, unless it's like a little bit too much, and even then sometimes some of us are here for it, you know. That's why we're reading books. How do they get away with it? It seems like maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself because they haven't hooked up yet, but it seems imminent. There is imminent making out on the horizon for these two idiots. Also, just a fun fact, I am not good at imagining what people look like in my head. They all just look like, usually, one of the two Salvatore brothers. So, and some of them look like Tyler Lockwood. If you've ever watched Vampire Diaries. Anyone that's like dark and brooding looks like Damien Salvatore. Because, like, what do you want me to do? He's very attractive. Even currently, like a bazillion years after he was filmed on that show, he's still a good looking dude. So the problem is that there's 4 of them, and those are only 3 guys I have to reference in my head, and there's 4 heirs and Orion. So like I'm gonna have to start like Googling. I'm gonna have to expand my repertoire of dudes that I can imagine in my head, because that's not helping anyone. So yeah, this is a little bit of a shorter video because we've only read like 4 chapters, but we still had some things to talk about, and that's the point of this cool book club that we're in, a Goblin Literature book club, that we talk about stuff when stuff happens, and here we are. So let me know what you think. I am hopeful that we will get more POVs. I hate saying POV. I feel like I'm like a tween, like a Gen Z. POV at the store. Like, okay. I'm hoping we get more of that from the other heirs. Maybe Orion, maybe some other people. I feel like they're gonna start to fill in some of the gaps about like maybe like the backstories of some of these guys, which will be, I think, helpful for us to figure out who sucks the most. The fact that we got the Caleb point of view and he feels bad, like it seems like he doesn't suck, and then Darius mentioning that he doesn't want to be like his father. It sounds like his father is a jerk and he doesn't want to be like him, so I assume he doesn't suck. But Max and Seth, sounds like they're not great. Maybe all the heirs are good. Who the hell knows? But I don't think so. I feel like there's going to be maybe in a while, that's like a hot take, a while down the road, not imminently, not like Darcy and Orion making out, there will be a division between the heirs. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any hot takes, any new hot takes, any cold takes. If you think any of my hot or cold takes are way off base, let me know like who your favorite characters are. So far, I don't really love any of these people, to be honest with you. None of them are my favorite. I kind of like Orion because he's grumpy. Tory and Darcy are like fine. They're fine. Them trying to leave is like lame. And then all the other teachers are weird and creepy, so I don't like any of them. The Principal Nova sucks. She seems horrible. And the heirs are all mid. Even like Caleb and Darius, like they participated in trying to drown Tory and Darcy just like because they're jerks. So I don't love any of these people yet. Hopefully they become more lovable. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok list their like top book boyfriends, and some of them are from this book. I'm not going to say who because I feel like it was kind of a spoiler because it wasn't who I expected it to be. So, yeah. That's really all we got for the first 4 chapters. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite characters. Let me know if you hate everyone. Let me know if you think these books are great or terrible or in between. And until next time, enjoy your reading.